Hi guys, how are you all doing? I'm Jay. I'm from a very small town from the eastern part of India. I've been flying for almost 11 and a half years and primarily as a flight attendant with two Indian domestic airlines and one major Middle Eastern international airline. And through my video, I sincerely hope and aim to motivate and inspire youngsters to make a career in the aviation industry. Um, Often the aviation industry is kind of overlooked when it comes to choosing a career path, especially if you come from a middle class or a lower middle class Indian family. The first thing is, okay, you have to take science and you have to either become an engineer or a doctor, even if you have zero interest in it or for whatever other reasons. So keeping that in mind, my intention to make this video is this, that I'm able to spread the awareness that there are other careers career options other than engineering and medicals. So all right, so guys, today's video, I'm not specifically going to speak about the aviation industry. However, I will share with you guys certain things you need to keep in mind if you're moving to Dubai for job. So since I live in Dubai and it has kind of become my home for almost 9 years, I thought I would share some information with you guys which you might find useful if you are moving to Dubai soon. For vacation, no, you don't need to know much because you're on vacation and you're going to be here short term. But if you're moving here for a job, then definitely yes, this video could be useful. All right, guys, let's start. So the first thing that you must be prepared for when you're coming to Dubai is the medical test. So the medical test is imperative for getting your visa, your passport stamped with the visa, resident visa. So depending on what company and what is your position in the company, you might get a 2 years visa, 3 years visa, 5 years visa, or a 10 years visa, which is very rare. It's called a golden visa, but you have to be extremely special to be able to get that golden visa. So usually the companies, they give you 2 or 3 years or 5 years visa depending on your position in the company. So the medical exams usually consist of chest x-ray, which I'm guessing they look for TB. There's a blood test which majorly, one of the major things they look for is HIV and drugs, of course, in your blood. And then there is the biometrics. So the biometrics is for your UAE ID, which is like a national ID card. So it's like a resident ID card, which is linked with everything in the UAE. Like if you're staying in Dubai, it will be linked to your mobile phones, with your SIMs, with your Wi-Fi, with your insurance, with your if you buy a car, or I don't know, just whatever, your bank accounts, everything UAID. It's like a one-stop shop for every information. So yes, so these medical exams and your biometrics. UAE, Dubai, let's talk about Dubai in this case. It's very organized when it comes to doing all this, so it will not take more than like 5 to 10 days for you to get the visa process done. You don't have to go to 10 different places and be all lost. Companies are very organized, and they tell you specifically where to go for what. Usually for medical exams you might have to go to one place, and then for biometrics another place, and majorly that's about it. So the entire process might take, like I said, 7 to 10 days, and then there you go, you have your resident visa and you are legally okay to work and stay in the UAE. The second thing to expect when you move to Dubai, that the rents could be very high, um, like as high as you can imagine. Like for example, whatever is your annual salary is, a very high probability that 40 to 50% will go for your rent. If you want to live a little bit more fancy, I have seen people who don't mind spending even 60% of the annual salary to stay in a posh place. Having said that, there are cheaper options. Of course, you can stay in a shared accommodation, which is very common in the UAE in general, but also in any developed country. However, that doesn't mean that you are lowering your living standards. The buildings in Dubai are very well maintained. The maintenance is taken care by the building management, and almost every building has a gym and a swimming pool. So you get all these amenities for free, absolutely. And the quality of the building overall, is top notch. So even if you are staying in a shared accommodation, you will not feel like you have downgraded or anything. It's very good. The only thing is you compromise in your privacy a little bit, because you will be sharing the common space with other people as well. But other than that, it's a good option if you want to save money. And because it might seem like, when you're making money in dirhams, it might seem like you're making a lot of money because you don't pay taxes here. However, before you know it, expenses like this, if you don't keep an eye on them, they will burn a hole in your pocket. So be mindful of that. Yeah. All right. The next thing is the public transport. So the public transport in UAE is very cheap. In Dubai specifically, the buses, the metros are very cheap, and they're very well connected. However, it might take time. Like, for example, from where you want to go from point A to your final destination might take time, because the bus or the metro might go from via other stations and other places. But it is not because of the traffic majorly the delay, but because they are so well connected that it goes via many places. So that's why it takes time. There are traffic during office hours, but they're not overwhelming. Especially, coming from India, or if you're from any big cities in India, you would know what I'm trying to say. That traffic is not overwhelming. It's there, but it's like in specific pockets of the cities and in specific time of the day. So yeah, the public transport is extremely cheap, other than the taxis. So the RTA, the Road and Transport Authority taxis, they could be really expensive. However, the taxis are like, they're really good. Like, all the taxis are either they're Corollas or Vernas, Hyundai or Toyota taxis. They are in very top-notch conditions. They're good taxis. The drivers, they follow all the road regulations, and like, it's very safe. Also, the RTA, which is the Road and Transport Authority, they have this app through which you can book a taxi any time of the day, 24/7. It's extremely convenient, and it's a lifesaver, especially if you have job if you work in night shifts, because you can't like stand by the side of the road and waiting, okay, a taxi might show up, because it might not. So on those terms, this app is extremely helpful. The only difference is that when you book through the app, it's called Careem app. If you book through the app, you pay 3 to 5 dirhams extra than if you would have taken a normal taxi. But that small difference that you pay, it's totally worth it, because it's the convenience that you're paying for. Other than that, there is Uber, but Uber is a little bit more expensive than the local RTA taxis. However, all the taxis in Uber, they are like premium. So majority of them are Lexus. So if you feel like treating yourself with a posh ride, you can book an Uber. All right, guys. So yeah, transport is majorly cheap, unless you want to go for taxis and all. The next thing is the local culture. You have to be very, very respectful of the local culture. Even though Dubai has an extremely cosmopolitan population, almost 70% of the population is expat. I'm guessing maybe could be more than 70%, but yeah, at least 60 to 70% are expats living in Dubai and in the whole of UAE, basically. They're very open-minded. However, you must be respectful of the local culture. When I say that, majorly I'm referring to avoid wearing revealing clothes, to be very specific. Deep neck, or deep back cut, or short skirts, ultra short shorts. So all of these dress, just try to avoid them, because they are just not respectful. Don't put yourself in a position where you're in a mall and you're wearing all these skimpy clothes, and the mall security, they come and they tell you that you're not dressed appropriately. Other than that, also, extreme physical affection in public places is really frowned upon. So if you can hold hands, as long as like It's just normal holding hands, you know. um, a small peck in the cheek is also acceptable, but you know, definitely not something which passes that for obvious reasons. But if you try to do it, trust me, you will be pointed out, and you will be asked to leave the place. So I've seen it happening a few times. So don't put yourself in that situation, you know. Be respectful of the local cultures and the local traditions. And last but not the least, Dubai has a very strict law and order. So never ever try to surpass, or you know, be over smart with the law. Basically, be on the right side of the law at all times. Don't do something that you're not supposed to, you know. Like, even if you're like 100% confident that you will not get caught, just don't do it, because it's just a way of being respectful to the country that has given you an opportunity to stay. Having said that, it's a very safe place. It's super safe, like, you know, 24/7. The city is awake 24/7, and you can go to any part of the city and you can get a taxi. People would be there. You will get something to eat, and you know, there are cheap places to eat, and there are ultra expensive places to eat, and there are places in between as well. So the thing is, it's a very lively city, and 24/7, and it's extremely safe. So having said that, also try to avoid going to, like, for example, you know, places like camping. If you want to camp out in a desert, make sure you don't do it alone, or you know, with just 2 or 3 friends. You know, at least do it in a place where you see there are other campers around you. So these things, like in a desert where there are no lights, no electricity and everything, you don't want to be there alone all by yourself, because there are creeps, not just like here, but in general, you know, in any, even in the safest place, you know, there could be like one or two creeps who can really you know, create problems. So other than that, the whole city is super super safe, and you can travel alone. If you're a girl, you know, you can take a taxi all by yourself. You don't have to worry, oh my god, you know, where this guy might take me, and everything. Because you know, the thing is, everyone working, all the expat population working in the UAE, in Dubai, or in Abu Dhabi, or Alain, or you know, Sharjah, Ajman, wherever, basically Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah. The point is that, you know, expats, they will suffer consequences if they try to be on the wrong side of the law. So people don't, you know, even attempt. They respect the law. They are intimidated by the law. So no one even tries to, you know, do something majorly. No one even tries to do something that they're not supposed to do. So they know that, you know, if they do something, their visas will be revoked and they will be deported, or worse, they could be put in jail in the UAE, which is, you don't want to be, you know, in a jail in a foreign country like that. Like, then it'll be like Banged Up Abroad, you know, the scary stories that used to come in National Geography. So having said that, guys, if you have got an opportunity to come to the Dubai, please embrace it with all your heart and soul. It's a wonderful place. There's a massive work culture here, but in any developed country, it is there. So you have to work in order to stay here, you know, because otherwise you will not get a visa unless, you know, you have a residence visa or you have investments and all. So but you know, if you're hardworking and you're sincere in what you do, this place has a lot to offer you. People are very nice in general. They're very polite, and if you want help, you will get help from people around, just from random strangers. There are so many nationalities. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Like, you literally step out of your home and you see like five different nationalities right there, you know. Like the restaurant might be, you know, an Indian restaurant. Your neighbors might be, you know, from some other Arab countries, or from some European countries. The shops, you know, the employees could be from some other place. It's wonderful. So if you have this opportunity, take it, grab it, and make the most of it. All right, guys, until next video. I hope this video was a bit useful for you all, and until next video and next city. By the way, I'm in Calcutta right now. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. I would really appreciate it. I majorly make videos regarding aviation industry, flight attendant interviews, communication skills, grooming tips, and all of that jazz. So all right, guys, take care, and much love.